Hello everyone, hello YouTube, this is Felipe, o Gato de Salto, and I'm here in Rio, in the community of Andaraí, in the favela, to talk to you about safety tips as well as travel tips to Rio. Everything you need to know before you come. Okay, so as many of you know, I always bring people with me to Rio, and there's always a list of recommendations that I make sure I tell everyone before they come so they know how to prepare themselves for Rio itself. Before I even start, let me just tell you that Rio is rough. It's difficult. Even for experienced people, it can take a toll on your health, on your finances, on your moral values. Rio is difficult, so make sure you are prepared before you come. So I came up with a small list of things that I think are useful for anyone coming first time or anyone coming in general. So make sure you stay tuned. The most important thing, in my opinion, is to stay safe. As you know, Rio is not the safest city in the world, but it's also not the most dangerous. You know, it's always, everything is very relative. Right now I am in a community, I am in a favela, and I'm fine. Let's see if I'm still fine by the end of the video. I think most questions that I get are usually concerning money. So what's the best way of paying? Should I bring cash? I personally prefer to have a little cash with me. It's always important to have cash on you because you might want to drink or eat something. But on the other hand, know that everywhere in Brazil, everywhere, even street sellers accept credit cards. So you'll be fine with a little cash and credit cards. But one of my tips is always to have cash on you because you never know. Now, transportation in Rio is okay, it works. The metro, so the underground system, is good and it works, it's reliable and it's safe. It does experience some delays during Carnival, so be aware of that, but the underground network is okay. The train network is not as safe as the underground metro network, and they accept credit cards as well. Taking buses can be really rough. It's a bit difficult. They're very unpredictable. They are not on schedule, so it's not like, you know, a fixed time that they will just come like we are used to in Europe, for example. Still, I do not advise to take buses unless you really need to. What really works in Rio, and it's good and reliable and cheap, is Uber. So if you don't have Uber on your phone, make sure you download Uber and you register your credit card and you try it before you come, because sometimes when you get here, it just doesn't work. So make sure you do that before you get to Rio. Is very, very important. Aside from Uber, of course, there are regular taxis. They are slightly more pricey, but they work as well. But my personal favorite is definitely Uber. I go everywhere by Uber and never had a problem. They're usually very nice. They try to get those extra stars, and here in Brazil they push really hard for service. They might offer you candy and water and, you know, many other things. Another very important safety tip that I can give you is definitely to know where you're staying. Know your address from your Airbnb, know it by heart, or write it down on a little piece of paper and carry it with you. If you're staying at a hotel, make sure you get a business card from the hotel. Knowing where you're staying is very, very useful. Sometimes nights can get really long in Rio because you go there for a course and then you go to a party and then you go to a Samba rehearsal. But then when you notice, you're out of battery. Your phone is dead and there's nothing you can do. So it's very important, A, to know where you're staying, B, to have a little cash on you just in case. Another thing that always helps is to have a local friend's number so you can contact, you know, in case you need. Whenever I'm here with my group, I always offer my own phone number, but I know that not everyone has a friend in Rio. So what I suggest is, in case of emergency, that you contact your embassy. So make sure you have your embassy's numbers written down somewhere or know them by heart, somewhere accessible. It's a big city, as you can see behind me, and this is just a little part of the city. And really, what I really wanted to achieve with this video is just to give you, a few little tips that can make things easier for you in case you need. So take this to heart. So we basically already covered the money and how to pay. We already talked about transportation and the little, safety tips, like having a phone number of a friend that you know, or your embassies. Now, I'd say that's a few important things, but I would like also to talk about common sense. You're coming to a third world country in development. Many people here live in communities. They are not wealthy, as you probably know. So make sure you use your common sense when, getting dressed, packing a bag, carrying a bag. Don't carry a backpack on your back. Carry it in front or underneath your arm. Take care of your belongings. Don't play the foreigner, the gringo, in a very traditional way. Take care of your belongings. Be alert. Try not to use, very expensive jewelry or accessories, watches or clothing. That will definitely help you with the security issue as well. Also, always go out and around in groups. It's always a great tip, but this is really just using your common sense. Wherever you travel, this is something that you can take care of with your friends together, everyone. It's a lot better and easier and safer than being alone. Now, if we leave all of the safety topics and put them aside, I think it's also very important to talk to you about your personal health. As I said, especially if you're a dancer, Rio is difficult. You'll be pushing your body to extremes, and it's a different country. It has different bacteria and viruses. So let's talk a little bit about your health. Make sure whenever you come that you have an international health insurance. Of course, this is not a must. We do have the public health system here. It is not the place you want to go whenever you need or whenever you're in pain. Believe me, you do not want to go there. You can go there. So if you are on a budget, you can go there. But international travel health insurances usually don't cost very much. So Google them and see an option that might actually fit your budget. They're not that expensive. They're actually quite useful, and I highly recommend them. They are not a requirement to get into Brazil though, as many other countries require. Make sure your vaccination is up to date. Now, we have some pretty rough things in Brazil. We have the yellow fever, we've got dengue and Zika, so also hepatitis. So make sure you do get your vaccination and keep it up to date before you come. This can only help you people, really. You don't want to come all the way to Rio and be in your hotel room, or your hostel room, or your friend's house room, sick for days. Remember this. Check out with your doctor what vaccinations he or she recommends to you, and make sure you keep them up to date. Another thing that I highly recommend is for you to start taking vitamins, like vitamin C and different types of vitamins, before you come to Rio. Start preferably a few weeks before, and drink lots of juices and eat well and healthy, because when you're here, you'll be exposed perhaps to different bacteria that you don't know. I had girls in my group literally staying locked up in their hotel room for over a week, and they could not at all enjoy the real Rio experience because they were just sick, and different types of sickness, from common colds and flus to tummy aches and diarrhea. So make sure you are equipped also with medicine that can help you, that that your body responds well to. So if it's Tylenol or whatever you take, ibuprofen or whatever. I've got my personal favorites for belly aches, like a medicine that has helped me before in India and in Egypt, and I know I always have it with me no matter where I travel, and Brazil is not different. And I'm not only talking about bacteria. I don't know, once you're here you'll probably experience, but the metro, it's freezing cold. Every shopping mall is freezing cold. The Ubers and taxi drivers, they turn the air conditioning to the max, and once you step out of the car, you know, you are exposed to the heat. So there's a constant change of temperatures, and this can get and impact your health as well. Other than that, again, common sense. Drink lots of water. When you're here, make sure you watch a little bit where you eat and where you drink, where you order ice cubes. This is especially for my American watchers and viewers. Ice cubes, make sure you know when and where to order them, else it's not 100% guaranteed that the water that they use for the ice cubes are actually fresh water and drinkable. And again, using your common sense involves really just staying alert and making sure you know what you're doing. At least you're trying to reflect upon your actions and not being, you know, reckless in Rio. So that's it. There are just a few tips, but these tips are very, very valuable, and I highly recommend you to follow them, because this can help you get out of trouble in case you get into them first of all. So I hope you enjoyed my tips. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or suggestions about anything, please make sure you leave a comment underneath this video. And finally, if you liked what you saw, leave your thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to your channel so you know there's another video on the way out to you. And I'll see you next time with more information about our beautiful, our hot Samba world. Bye!